Welcome everyone to Randomania 2 for another exciting Final Fantasy IV free enterprise community race. I am joined by our tracker for this evening, Christopher Warken, our awesome restreamer, the Tie-Dye Guy, and my partner in commentary, Rex Rawl.
Hi there.
Hey there. Our racers for this evening are Choco Sura, Schmitty Games, Rumblefish82, and Silver Star 6609. And we have an exciting variant on our typical race tonight.
Yeah, that's right. We've got the V2 flag, also referred to as Giant Percent. We are not going to defeat Zeramis on this run. Instead, we are going to go through the Giant of Babel, defeat the boss, whatever boss is randomized to be in the Four Fiends fight and the CPU fight, and that is how we are going to end up finishing this run. So it's a bit different. In this case, the Go mode item is the Darkness Crystal, because that will be what gains access to the Giant.
That is right. No pass is necessary, no crystal is necessary, only the Darkness Crystal is necessary to get us into Go mode. In addition to that, we have some very, what many would consider challenging flags to go along with this as well. We have K2, which means that the key items will be shuffled amongst themselves and will also be possibly in the summon boss spots and lunar subterranean boss spots. In addition to that, we have C3, which is a newer flag that was introduced recently. That means there are only going to be 5 unique characters available throughout the entire run.
That's right.
That creates a lot of interesting circumstances. There could be a lot of duplicates, stuff like that. The characters might be hard to reach. There's a lot of times where players might go to the end without even a full party. C3 creates some very interesting circumstances.
That's absolutely true, but when you're in a C3 and you're given the gift of starting with Edge, that makes things a lot easier.
That is definitely a good start. And we have Sid as well. Not a bad starting party there. Some decent bruisers.
Both of these characters start at a relatively higher level than a lot of the other characters, so taking care of early bosses becomes a lot easier.
We're also starting with the Hook,
which means we are going to be hoping that this is a Hook seed.
Very possible. In addition to the C3 flag, this is also a T3 and S3 flag. That means that the untrapped chests and shops are going to be randomized, but they will not have the highest level items that you normally get from fight and event rewards.
Yeah, we won't have the highest level, but you can still get some pretty decent items on a T3, S3 flags.
Oh yeah, we have that G2 flag enabled, so the Japanese items and spells are in play. Those Japanese spells can definitely make a big difference in the item pool, and they will be available. And we have Kane at the Baron Inn, so we have 3 pretty good bruisers right off the bat that are available. This is pretty fortunate for a C3 flag.
Oh yeah, and we see Chokasura making a bit of a divergence, not going with the standard loot Baron to start with, but instead decided to head up to Damcian to loot the treasure room there. Got a ninja sword for Edge. That's going to really help his damage output early.
Definitely going to be a good thing for Edge there. I think at this point, with the party members that are showing available, I think they're probably going to be very hopeful to get some mages in the near future. At the very least, a white mage Fusuya would be perfect addition to what they have here. Even Tella wouldn't be bad. You know, in Giant Percent, doing a D machine grind is very tempting. So having anybody with a weak spell is going to be pretty tempting.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. Tella is in most flag sets one of the lower tier characters that you don't really want, but his value becomes a lot higher in a flag where you're forced to run through the Giant of Babel. Might as well do a grind on those D machines while you're in there. And Tella and Fusuya are the ones that you really want in order to be able to make that as possible, if that makes sense.
And Rumblefish going right at it, sees that Kane, sees pretty much a freebie into the Dark Knight Cecil boss there. He says, I want Kane and I want him now.
Yeah, and that's kind of the advantage of having, as I said, the Sid and Edge starting with higher levels than normal. Because this second boss is not a pushover, but with the damage output that Edge is able to do, and not to mention Sid, it becomes a lot more possible to take care of this boss early, and then you can start getting Kane some levels and making him useful too, making just the rest of the game a lot easier.
We've definitely already seen some divergence on the typical plays here in the very beginning. I definitely like Rumblefish's immediate grab for Kane here. That's a good move, I think. And
yeah, I think that's a real heads-up.
The first to get to Antlion Cave.
Yeah, and Chokosura finding a Zeus gauntlet in the Antlion Cave in the save room, a very powerful gauntlet that gives a big attack boost to any of the bruisers that he decides to equip it to.
It is for sure. Schmitty finishing out their raid of Damcien, looks like making their way over to Mount Hobbs to see what character may or may not be available here.
Yeah, see if we get a duplicate or one of the other characters that we haven't seen yet. We still have 2 that we're on the lookout for, right?
Yeah, but there is a lot of potential for duplicates now. The more characters we get in the party, the more likely we are to run into duplicates. There are, from my count, at least 12 potential character slots, so only 5 of those will be unique. The rest will be duplicates. Fortunately for Schmitty, it's Kane, which he did not grab at Baron, so this is kind of a good grab for him.
And I missed Rumblefish at the end of that. Was there a key item?
I don't believe so. But I too missed it. Question for pointing out it was a glass helm.
Ah, a very interesting item. We'll see if any of the runners decide to make use of that. Chokosura finding the entire Fabul gauntlet down at the bottom of the Antlion Cave, so that's going to be a battle that he's in for a little bit.
Yep, slow boss but an easy one. Should make quick work of it with Edge and Sid.
Yeah, making use of Edge's ninja magic to take care of a bunch of mobs at once. This is why Edge is such a versatile character. There's so many different things that he can do. He's got the dart, he's got the ninja magic, and he's got really good damage output on his own. Very good overall character. One of the favorites. The only thing that he lacks is his HP growth isn't as good as the other bruisers, but he makes up for it in so many ways.
And it makes up for it, and it has a high agility as well, which really comes in handy. Some of the slower characters, I mean, he can lap them and do multiple turns before they get a chance sometimes. So,
especially compared to something like Sid.
Exactly. Schmitty, meanwhile, making his way into Fabul. Looks like he's getting ready to take on the Fabul Gauntlet spot.
Yep, yeah, gearing up. Oh, I found a strength ring. I believe that was in Baron. That's another good item for boosting attack strength. Not quite Zeus Gauntlet level, but still one that you... In a party where you've got a bunch of physical attackers, items like that are great. Looks like Choco found the Luca key at the bottom of the Antlion Cave. Not an item that a lot of runners are very excited about in a lot of times, but it may be necessary. We'll see.
Yeah, and in a giant percent run like this too, I mean, really any key item is really worthwhile. That's time not wasted. You know, if they get those 10 key item spots, that makes that grind so much faster.
That is a good point too.
Especially if they go for that D machine grind, having 10 key items at that point makes it super fast. For those not aware, for these flags, I believe it's E3. At 10 key items, the experience gains are doubled.
Schmitty finding the D lunar D's in the Bull Gauntlet slot. Wise to use Edge's ninja magic and a Stardust in order to take care of them. If you use a physical attack on them, then they'll use Wall and start slinging nasty virus spells at you. But able to get around that well. Was that the spoon?
Yeah.
It was Schmitty was very fast with the...
Yeah, I got a spoony ninja. Silver Star taking on the Antlion boss spot. Rumblefish making their way to do the same. It looks like Schmitty's making a little pit stop to check some shops, maybe pick up some items.
Yeah, whenever the Japanese items are enabled, going around to item shops becomes fairly important. especially in a party like this where you've got a bunch of bruisers and not a lot of mages. Those Japanese items will do a lot to satisfy your magic requirements, whether it's healing items, Cure 2s, Cure 3s, or the powerful attack spells like Gaia Drums, Stardust, Boreas.
And in a flex set like this, item management is very important. You know, as they start creeping up to having that inventory maxed out, they want to be able to sell off as much as possible. Money gains are not guaranteed. They do not have glitches enabled, so they can't glitch their money up, and so they're relying on selling items primarily as their source of income. So they don't want to have to throw out any of those valuable items to make room for more.
Yeah, and that makes looting treasures that much more important. Even if it's a piece of equipment that your party can't equip, usually if it's a decent enough one, you can sell it for that money and turn that into an item that's going to be useful for you.
Exactly. Schmitty at this point looks like just doing the gauntlet, checking multiple town shops. Chokosura is taking on the D-Lunars at the Fabul Gauntlet spot.
Oh, Chokosura is going to just YOLO and attack him. He was able to one-shot one with Edge, and so that'll help avoid that counter as well.
It's a bold move, Cotton, but it seems to be paying off.
Absolutely.
Silver Star finishing up their Antlion run, getting their way out, so is Rumblefish.
Lots of items in that
Yes.
item shop. The past
Definite worthwhile items. Those life potions are a must-have for the potential D-Machine grind if they decide to go that direction, and Schmitty immediately picked up those life potions.
Yeah, that is. If you're planning on doing that D-Machine grind, that is maybe the most important key, or not key, but just item to find. But we don't know whether or not that D-Machine grind is going to be is going to be available to the runners yet, because we don't have anyone who can cast Black Magic yet.
So for the uninitiated, Rex, why does life potions matter for grinding?
Well, this we do have the glitchless flag on, but that doesn't mean the glitchless flag only turns off some glitches. There is at least one glitch that we may see use if this D-Machine grind happens. It's called the often referred to as the Vitality Zero glitch, or just the life potion glitch. Whenever you revive a character, like one of your party members, with a life potion or the life 1 spell, the amount of HP that they get is dependent on whatever their vitality stat is. This is true for enemies too. However, all enemies have a vitality stat of 0, so when they're revived, they come back with 0 HP, meaning they die again. What it means for the party is if you're able to use a life potion on a dying enemy, it'll revive them, they die again, and you get double the experience. If you're able to get 2 life potions on it, you get triple the experience. The timing on that is pretty tough, but it can be done.
And I have even seen one of our runners, Couch, just the other day pulled it off. 3 life potions to get quadruple the experience from one. It is very unlikely, but it is possible, and he proved it. I just want to point out in chat, and sorry if I mispronounced any names here, but Hooper Notorial and Pollen BM pointing out that Rydia was in the bed in Kaipo, so that's our 4th confirmed party member available in this seed.
Well, Rydia is technically somebody who can cast Weak. The problem with both Rydia and Palom is that they learn Weak at such a high level that you're almost not needing to do a whole lot of a grind after they learn that spell. That's why Tela and Fusia are the characters that are really ideal for doing that D-Machine grind.
Oh yeah, now Rydia is definitely far from useless in this seed. Potential to get Bahamut or Leviathan and some other summons. Even at low levels, she can deal out some pretty good damage. The Dragon Whip, in addition to certain, an Artemis bow and heroin combo, can make her a decent bruiser as well. She's definitely far from useless.
Oh yeah, she might not be ideal for the D-Machine grind, but she'll definitely be useful throughout the course of the run. If you can find something like a Stardust Rod too, she can use that as an item to cast the Comet spell. That'll be something that they'd be looking for with her as well.
Yeah, in a normal run, Rydia is typically not as ideal for the end game because she's not super useful in the Zeromus fight. But for the Giant of Babel, that doesn't necessarily apply. You know, her lower HP and progression doesn't necessarily affect her as badly as it would for a Zeromus fight.
That's a good point.
She has a lot more utility.
And depending on who those last couple bosses are, that HP growth might not be as relevant. I mean, with Zeromus, that getting to that 1800 to 2000 HP is pretty key in order to possibly survive the big bang attacks. But you're not going to have a spam attack quite like that, unless you see something like Dark Knight Cecil. But you're not going to see him because we already saw him in the variant. So.
Yeah, at this point, many of our runners are still just doing the dives into shops and just checking and selling items. Schmitty, meanwhile, is finishing up Antlion Cave to get his Luca key.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the runners do a full clear of everything in the overworld, because they're going to try to avoid having to use that hook to get underground through the Tower of Babel. So I would imagine most of the runners will probably head up ordeals before they go underground, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would imagine that they would, but you never know what plans lie in store. There is a potential party member available in Evelyn Underground as well, so it really just depends on what's more valuable to them at this point.
A couple other items of note in that pass shop. There's the tents, which are a very good restorative item for save points. There's Silk Webs, which cast slow on all enemies. Very useful spell. And then, of course, if you've got enough money, you can buy the elixirs there, too. Best curative item in the game.
And so far, this seed rolled by our awesome and talented Scala Kitty is not proving to be a Scala Kitty classic quite yet, but I'm sure we have some trolley surprises in store for us.
Well,
Who knows where that darkness crystal is hiding?
We have Rumblefish making the first dive into Evelyn. Of course, as soon as I mention that the runners are going to go to Abound Ordeals, Rumblefish avoids that. My prognostication skills are not on point tonight.
He's listening. Everybody so far looks like they have made that dive just to double check Kaipo, seeing that Rydia is there just in case they get the Sand Ruby. I'm really surprised we have not seen many duplicates yet. That's in a C3 flag like this, it's very possible. Ooh, and monsters for Rumblefish. Got the hourglasses though, should make pretty quick work of these Stalemen, hopefully.
Yeah, finding the Stalemen, that's the one trapped chest in the Evelyn Cave. So once that's found, Rumblefish is going to know that all the rest of the traps, or the rest of the chests, are going to be open without any problems. And
Can you imagine looking into a pot and a Staleman stares back at you? That's just scary stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works logistically, but you got to take some liberty when it comes to Final Fantasy.
Bigger on the inside, I'm assuming.
Yeah, something like that.
And Rumblefish making quick work of those Stalemen, some decent experience for Sid and Kane here.
Yeah, Rumblefish was able to use a life potion to get some bonus XP out of that as well, making use of that Vitality Zero glitch that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yep, and did get a Stardust Rod as well, so if they do get a Sand Ruby or are able to find Rydia again at some point, that'll be a good equip for Rydia.
Yeah, it can use, as I mentioned, you can use it as an item to cast a Comet spell in battle. It also boosts her Black Magic stat quite a bit, so when she does get those upper level spells, or even Virus, which is probably the key spell for Rydia throughout most of the game, it boosts the damage on that considerably. Rumblefish also finding a couple of Moon Veils here in the Evelyn Cave. Depending on the bosses at the end of the game, the Moon Veil could make those fights really trivial.
And even early on for some of these fights, considering they're all Bruiser team they're rocking so far, those Moon Veils could really come in handy in a pinch.
Yes. We found a very good weapon for Sid there, the Rune Axe. Probably his best weapon of the game. It is the one that's the most attack power, and it also deals extra damage against mage-type enemies. 4 times damage boost on them, and there's actually a number of bosses that fall under that categorization, so it's always something that I like to find when I've got Sid in my party.
And Schmitty and Chocosura seem to have Rex's back here. They're all heading up ordeals to prove him right.
Finally, somebody does.
And looks like Rumblefish has found Rydia here in the underground Ablin.
That's convenient that he just found that that Stardust Rod then.
Yeah, I am blown away at the lack of duplicates our runners are running into this. This is pretty ideal for them.
Yeah, we found 2 Canes and 2 Rydias, but I don't know if we count it as 2 Rydias because we don't have the Sand Ruby for that one yet. So.
Yeah, this is their first available opportunity at a character, and it was not a duplicate.
But we still don't have a white mage. Now, the fact that you don't have to fight Zeramis makes it a little bit more like, okay, I might be able to do this, but I think
for Mr. Yubi can chat, the hook was the intro item. They did not have to face a boss for that.
Yeah. But I'm sure everyone is hoping that Porum, Rosa, or Fusia, maybe Tella is that last character. They would like to have somebody who can heal. Oh, the Magus Sisters in the Mylon Z spot.
For this bruiser heavy, easy for me to say, team, this is definitely a pretty doable fight, but a lot of magical damage potential here, so they'll have to take out Cindy pretty quickly.
And Mr. Ubik, we have not seen the boss for upper battle yet.
It looks like Rumblefish immediately noped out of Eblin right after getting Rydia, and is moving on to other places.
Maybe gonna go and, as I thought, and we'll go complete Mount Ordeals.
I mean, probably.
Found a Gaia drum in the one chest in Agart. Very useful item. I cast the Quake spell. One of the best. If you ask me, one of the best J items for damage. That's
yeah, so good. Multi-target does not get affected by wall. The Magus Sisters are a perfect example. Quake is very effective against them. Oh, and we have the Darkness Crystal on Mount Ordeals. Now technically, that does put Chocosura and Schmitty in go mode. But they do, they will likely need to find some more things here to grind, or at least maybe beef up their party before they go at the end game. So while they are in go mode, they have some heavy decisions to make at this point.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see when our runners decide that they've got enough to make the jump into the giant and finish off the run. We'll see if anyone decides to go to the moon to check the Lunar Palace for possibly that 5th character as well.
Yeah, Scott looks like he rolled a casual geek classic instead.
I don't know. This might. If the magma key is on the moon, does that mean it's not a hook seed? I don't know how that's classified.
The lines are blurred with giant percent. Really, from here on, it just really depends on how comfortable they are rolling with the D machine grind. You know, they don't have a mage readily available with weak.
Yeah, that D machine grind without weak is extremely dangerous.
But Schmitty not saving any time, just immediately going after or getting the Lunar Whale.
And Choco is hunting the other bosses, seeing if he can find D Mist. See if we can find anything to get ready to go to the end of the game. And I did pay attention this time when Silver Star got Rydia here. It looks like the Rubicante spot that was terrorizing her was Octomam. So Octomam will be at the top of, or the top of the bottom, top of the top of Tower of Babel. Two Babels.
We're tongue twisting Rex tonight. Alright, looks like Choco's gonna do some diving at shops, probably possibly maybe even looking for sirens depending on their comfort level. And Schmitty making a good move. I think that's a solid move at this point. Only having 3 characters is going to double check the moon spot, see what character they can get.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty smart move. It's a free check of a character. It does take time to go to the moon, but I think if it pays off with a white mage, Schmitty's going to be very happy. Ooh, that is Yang.
The Bruiser party is complete.
Yeah, we've got some physical attack power in this party. We've got some HP. We do not have healing.
No white mages in sight.
I guess technically, if you never complete Dwarf Castle, Rydia does cast Cure 1. So there's that.
She tries her best. And Silverstar, meanwhile, making their way down through the Eblon Underground, hoping to get to the Underground here, and facing Ogo Pogo.
Yeah, that must be the King Queen Eblon spot. Huh?
And Rumblefish making their way through ordeals. Looks like Chocosura finally got the Lunar Whale, is making their way up following Schmitty to check that character spot too. And I am amazed yet again, no duplicates. That is very surprising in a C3 flag to just run into back-to-back no duplicates like that. I am not sore about it at all.
There was the one duplicate, if we're going to be technical, Mount Hobson.
Technical, but it wasn't available.
Baron, but...
Oh, that's true. That is true. I will grant you that. I promise I'm not salty. I only ran a bunch of C3 practice scenes and tons of duplicates. Alright, getting Octomom here. Looks like Schmitty's gonna do some grinding on the moon.
Yeah, this is what I've seen some runners do recently, is use this chest to get an early grind in on the moon with the life potions and hourglasses. It's worth a decent amount of XP, and with the hourglasses, it's relatively safe, even at lower levels as well.
Mr. Ubik in chat putting the question out to our other friends in chat here. Who would be the trolliest fight at the Elements and CPU spot now?
Ooh, yeah.
I'd love to hear your all's opinion in chat. Chime in on that one. Alright, Chocostar making their way back down to Earth.
And Silverstar making good use of the illusion item to avoid, because all Octomam uses is physical attacks, kind of like our party. But the illusion casts the blink spell on the person who uses it, so lets them dodge a couple attacks for free. It is true though that this Octomam spot does have a lot of, or this Rubicante spot has a lot of HP. Luckily, with Edge and finding that equipment early, can dish out quite a bit of damage quickly.
Looks like Chocosura is deciding to make their way down to the underground now.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I thought, that even though we've got technical go mode at this point, that underground access, especially without a way to heal and without a way to cast weak for the grind, we're gonna have to find another way to get levels.
Rumblefish now getting their lunar whale. That is 3 of our 4 runners now in go mode. Silver Star has not opted to do Mount Ordeals yet, so they have not received their Darkness Crystal. And it looks like Schmitty is opting to make his way to the underground as well. So we're starting to see our runners kind of converge here in Eblin Cave. Yes, we did see D-Lunars, I believe, in the Fable Gauntlet spot, if I wasn't mistaken.
You are correct, it was in Fabul.
Alright, Silver Star being the first to make their way to the underground is immediately diving the land of summons to see what they can find.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the other 3 runners, once they get down to the underground, will already have the Darkness Crystal and will be in go mode. And so the routes that Silver Star takes in the underground versus the other 3 runners might be very different.
Yeah, from their point of view at this point, they don't have that Darkness Crystal yet. They're hoping to find it. Whereas the other ones, they're in go mode. They're just looking for progression. What can get me ahead, get me prepared for the giant.
Ooh, we found the Leviathan summon in the vanilla
super useful.
Chest. Yeah, that makes Rydia a lot more potent in this run.
Looks like Chokosura is going away from Eblin Cave now. It's taking a pit stop here at Baron. Maybe just went to pick up a character.
Looks like went in to go do some shopping.
Grabbing them sirens. Don't blame them. Rumblefish making their way to the moon. Or actually, we don't back down to Earth. I apologize. They just went and got Yang on the moon.
Yep, back to the blue planet.
Dragon Whip time.
Okay, Silver Star's healing up in the Land of Summon Monsters, which basically we're going to see a peek down at the bosses in the Ashura and Leviathan spot, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be checking for that potential demist, as well as, depending on the bosses there, might face him hoping to find the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, Silver Star's still on the hunt for that, and we will see how that ends up.
Schmitty at this point looks like doing some item dives. Silver Star facing the Baron guards.
Making good use of it.
Really, yeah, great. And for the uninitiated there, pops that life glitch on one of them as well for extra experience. So very well done there. And a Masamune for Edge. Not bad at all. Silver Star are getting pretty stacked. Well, they don't have the Darkness Crystal. They have Leviathan at this point. They got good item for Edge. They're getting some pretty good offensive arsenal on their side. Looks like Rumblefish making their way to the Fopple Gauntlet for the first time.
I see a comment. Winterside saying, Whip It Kitty can be very effective. That is true. Oftentimes you do need a little bit of help along with something like a heroin robe to really make her damage be worth it. But yeah, it can absolutely be very effective. In this party, though, you've got enough bruisers. You really want her to be able to do magic, and finding that Leviathan summon in the Land of Summon Monsters is going to be really what puts her over the top.
Oh yeah, for sure. Spinny's facing down some Mad Ogres, hoping to get some good items and potential experience.
Yeah, Mad Ogres are one of those enemies that counts as, for some reason, mage type. So if you've got that Rune Axe, that's going to do a lot of extra damage. Also, Mute Arrows, Mute Dagger, all of those are very good choices against the Mad Ogres.
And Choco's saving and hitting the Lunar Whale again. I'm interested to see where they're going. And they're going to the Giant. Or maybe they're going to attempt some D-Machine grinding.
Oh, we've got someone diving.
We've got our first head to the Giant.
And Choco never completed the Evelyn Cave to go to the underground.
I don't believe so. I think they may have dove it for Rydia. I do believe they have a full party, but I don't think they finished it.
Right. Choco, I believe, exited out as soon as he got the character. So let's see what happens here in the Giant of Bad Ill. This is actually really exciting. I know Choco is one of the runners who's been featured in the round of 32 for the league. Is a very, very good runner of this game, and really excited to see what he's going to do here.
Definitely a very accomplished racer. Not to take anything away from our other talented racers who are also doing a fantastic job. And
yeah, without a doubt.
Rumblefish at this point looks like they are deciding to make their way down, possibly potentially into the underground, but are going to check Evelyn Cave at the very least. And Schmitty's still finishing up in Evelyn Castle.
Choco turned on those encounters, so is looking to grind.
I mean, it's a chat point now. They don't have the weak spell. There's no way they could be D-Machine grinding. It seems to me like they potentially are. They must have something up their sleeves here, you know, maybe using hourglasses or something else. It might be a little bit slower, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be efficient.
Yeah, this is why I'm really excited to see what he's got up his sleeve here.
I love seeing level 1 Rydia hit somebody with a whip there. With the spell arsenal they have, and the way he's got Rydia equipped, Choco rolling with the entire just bruiser party completely. I love it. And it looks like Rumblefish making their way to the Giant as well. Possibly a similar strategy in mind.
So it looks like because Choco used the hourglass, the searcher doesn't counter with a summon here. So it looks like Choco's just doing kind of a vanilla grind, getting into a battle, stopping the enemies, defeating the enemies, and gaining the XP.
Yeah, this might take some time. But the race is still early. It may pay off. Now, I'm keeping my eye on Silverstar there. They've got Sirens. They're in the underground. You know, if they can grind just right and then make their way up to get ordeals, they are far from out of this race. There's a lot of potential there, Silver Star.
Yeah, especially considering this grind that Choco is going to be undertaking, and assuming Rumble's going to have a similar, it's going to take some time, and so that might be the time that Silver Star can make up, because an egg grind would be a lot faster than the grind that Choco's doing right now.
At this point, yeah.
And Choco might also just be gambling that, these bosses at Elements and the CPU might be able to be beaten at relatively low levels. So, might just take a few grind fights here, get Rydia to learn something like Virus, and just YOLO it.
Yeah, we don't know for sure what we have in store. Those bosses, could be not too bad. They could also be very crushing. So yeah, we haven't seen anybody dive them yet to check.
Well, also remember we did find a lot of moon veils in chests. And that's going to could make a lot of bosses a lot easier.
Definitely a lot of potential and what ifs in the air for sure. Silver Star making quick work of the Karate Man here at the Dwarf Castle. Let's see who they have next.
Yeah, I don't know. Completing this means that we'll lose access to Cure 1 from Rydia, their only white mage.
And we have Mylon.
Rumble's leaving the giant. Looks like went in and fought the last arm. And left.
Schmitty and Rumble taking a simultaneous nap on the Lunar Whale. And Rumble's making their way to Avalon.
And this Mylon gas fight in the Galvez spot should not be too difficult for Silver Star at this point.
Schmitty looks like making his way to the giant. He's got ideas. Listen, I'm keeping my eye on Silver Star down there. With everything up in play here, all it's going to take is for them to go back up to the overworld and hit ordeals. They are in a good position if they do that, so they are far from counted out here.
But the question is, how soon will Silver Star take that plunge and fight 3 bosses and do a cutscene for 1 potential key item? So much of the world is open for Silver Star at this point.
Definitely a lot of potential, but hard to say what'll happen. Schmitty's diving right in here. Looks like going straight for the safe spot.
Choco turned encounters off.
Oh, he's going to dive the boss, checking it.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
So we're going to see what our first giant boss is going to be. And it looks like it's a lunar boss. The possibilities here. Wyvern! Ooh! This is the exact opposite of what any of our runners want to see in this spot. Such a high hit point spot for Wyvern to be here. Fortunately, we do have the W2 flag, so that opening Mega Nuke has been replaced with a random command. But, whew, that is still a rough spot.
Yeah, and this is one of the fights that the Moon Veils aren't going to be super helpful on, because Wyvern's usual strategy is to cast Wall on itself and then bounce nuke spells off of it, so the wall granted by the Moon Veil will be bypassed by the reflected spell off the Wyvern. So,
and I have a feeling some of the other runners in our community might have also made this dive and found Wyvern. I won't name any names, but we've had a couple of forfeits in the last couple of minutes. So I have a feeling some people ran into Wyvern and said, you know what? Nope. I'm not feeling this tonight.
Okay, I think Scala. I think you might be redeemed for this one.
Her trolling subtle this time.
This I think will make it a trolling scene.
Now, and I'm legitimately asking this: can the Moonveil negate the nuke damage they're taking?
It would if Wyvern would actually cast the nuke on the party directly, but since it's using the nuke on itself and reflecting it, that bypasses the reflect step.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, if it was a direct targeted spell or a physical attack, then the Moonveil will make it a lot easier, but Wyvern is one of those bosses that it doesn't help a lot on. This is going to be extremely difficult. So this is kind of what we needed for Silver Star to get back into this at this point, I think. Because I think it's going to be difficult to beat this boss. Maybe I'm wrong and these runners will be able to take it down. But if not, and if they do have to grind considerably for this, then they're going to have to go find their way all the way underground, do everything that they need to do for that. And in that time, Silver Star might be able to make up some time. So we'll see.
We do know that our runners have a lot of life potions in case they had to do the D-Machine grind, so maybe they're hoping to just outlast Wyvern here, and it's possible. It is a lot of damage to chew through, but at the very least, Wyvern at this point is predictable, so they can potentially get through it. Ooh, that remedy though.
Ooh, 6,500 HP on the remedy.
Ooh boy.
Wow.
That undoes that a little bit. They're gonna have to outpace that.
Yeah, I think they are outpacing that, but with the high damage or high HP pool, like this boss spot has a ton of HP, just by nature of where it is. Add to that the remedies that are coming in. Ooh, we are in for a long battle.
And they're kind of in a rough spot here. The Berserk status is going to help them do the most damage, but they have to be careful not to get them in a position where they can't use life potions to re-up their party.
And they have to re-up the Bacchus wine every single time to get revived.
Yeah, this is just a war of attrition. Yeah, freshen up your drinks, people. We're going to be here for a while.
I've got my ice water.
And Silver Star, meanwhile, making their dive through tower after the Legend Sword, and are finishing off Odin in the tower key spot as we speak.
Looks like our tracker's got a half gallon of diet root beer, so that's good to know.
I'm a little jealous. I'll just sip my tea and enjoy that. I didn't catch where Rumblefish went. Are they? I think they're diving Eblon Cave underground.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Is Rumblefish in the Eblon Cave underground, I believe? Or are they still trying to make their way underground, or did they already get there?
Yeah, Rumblefish is in the Upper Babel, just doing some vanilla grinding, it looks like. Just turned on the encounters, fighting things, probably to get past the Octoman.
Can't blame him for that. Yeah, Tonight's point in chat, it's a war of attrition, but Choco and Schmitty are hanging in there. They're doing it.
Yeah, as long as the life potions, like, as long as they've got enough life potions, they can beat this, I think. But it's gonna be tough.
Silver Star going to dive the Sylph Cave now.
Supremacy, we've already seen Ogopogo, so sorry about that.
No Ogopogo for you.
Oh, there's that remedy again.
Schmitty's getting some pretty good damage rolls, though.
Yeah, it looks like Schmitty's edge might be a little bit better equipped than Choco's, because seems to be doing more damage.
Skull, I will do Seinfeld references until 2050. Or until my unfortunate passing. Whichever should occur first.
Schmitty able to take down the Wyvern.
Takes down Wyvern. And not to take away from Schmitty's thunder at all here, but I'm obligated to say that F. Coughlin has finished in first place with a time of 49 minutes, 17 seconds. GG and congrats to F. Coughlin.
Absolutely.
Here, I imagine is gonna just do a quick check to see who the CPU boss is.
Oh, Choco took the reset.
That damage, yeah, their damage output just wasn't enough.
All right, who is the final boss this time around?
Elements, huh? Interesting.
Kind of like a French vanilla spot. Ooh, that is an element that hits hard.
Oh man, and it's fast. That is a more different S. Potentially, though, people in chat, feel free to correct me because I'm wrong a lot. Elements and CPU spots should mean a pretty low HP pool, if I'm not mistaken. So there is potential here, but obviously Elements is hitting like a freight train, so they'll have to out-damage them, and it looks like that's what Schmitty's trying to do here.
Yeah, it depends. If the timing is right and we don't get the HP refill...
Ooh, that's gonna do them. Let's see if Kane can finish him off.
Yeah,
and he did it!
Nice.
That clutch Kane jump. Schmitty finishes in second place with a time of 50 minutes, 45 seconds. Well played. Clutch Kane jump there.
Very impressive.
And if I'm not mistaken, is that Silver Star I see on Ordeals?
Thank you.
I believe it is.
Yeah, so Silver Star is going to be coming up close.
Let's see if we can get Schmitty in here potentially for an interview.
Yeah, Choco looks like he's grinding a few more levels here. We've got Silver Star going to be getting in the... going to be finding that Darkness Crystal at the top of Ordeals. And Rumblefish looks like trying to get all the treasure and the grindable fights here in the Castle of Emblem.
All right, we're working on getting Schmitty in here for a quick interview now. Just a moment.
And I think we should all be thanking Scala Kitty for rolling such a great scene. Very exciting finish.
Schmitty, my man. that clutch finish. Well done. Congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Schmitty. You are possibly muted.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, congrats again on that second place finish tonight. You were the first of our featured runners tonight to finish. That clutch finish was spectacular.
That was a lucky gamble.
Yeah, for sure. What were your thoughts about tonight's seed?
I went up Ordeals, some levels to go underground, and I happened across the darkness crystal. I figured it was going to be a jet, and there's just nothing else to find in the overworld, so I had the choice of either doing it or going underground, so I just did it. The seed offers a really, really fun decision.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, go ahead.
I think that's one of the things that can make the giant percent interesting is a choice like that. You can go and then you can find Wyvern in the element spot and just still be able to do it. What was your thought on that fight?
Wyvern there, I was thinking I could take him if I could get everyone up, but he was so fast the first time I tried him because Edge was in the mid slot. And so when I put Sid there, I started getting 2 turns between nukes, and it made it trivial. Yeah, there, as long as both of my life item users didn't go down, I was fine.
Yeah, it looks like Choco, Sura, and Rumblefish are running into that same exact problem. Rumblefish is running into it as we speak, with Edge in the mid slot. He's struggling a little bit with Wyvern here. Yeah, that was a fantastically run seed, Schmitty. I just wanted to say that was really well done, and congrats again on your second place finish tonight.
I appreciate everything you guys do with the broadcast. You guys do a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And yeah, congrats on being our first featured runner to finish tonight, and thanks for coming in for an interview. Go ahead and move you out now, but have a good night.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, Choco going in for another battle of that Wyvern now. After gaining a few more levels, we'll see what luck he has this time, and we can see how Rumblefish can deal with this fight as well.
And unfortunately, Rumblefish getting the wipe there. Silver Star right on their tail, making their way up to the giant as we speak. And Choco are hoping to have a little better luck with this battle of attrition this time.
Now, I did ask earlier, like I kind of wondered aloud, how long it would take for Silver Star to go up to Mount Ordeals to get that. And I wonder if possibly Silver Star saw like F. Coughlin and Schmitty finish in the IRC and thought, if they're able to get finished this fast, maybe the Darkness Crystal is available earlier than I thought, and went back to the spot that was available earlier, and that might have influenced the decision. But at any rate, we've got all 3 of our featured runners in the Wyvern fight right now.
Yeah, that's always got to be a thought that runs through your mind, you know, in those races. Whenever you see other people finishing, you kind of get panicky and you're like, what did I not do that they probably did?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really interesting thing that's kind of a byproduct of the race system that we have here, but I do think I think it's interesting because I like it because I think it does help people who might have been a little bit off track, and it makes it so that they're able to close gaps a little easier. But at any rate, let's see how they do against the Wyvern.
It was like Rumblefish again struggling a little bit. To Schmitty's point, having Edge in that middle slot, the agility that Wyvern has here when Edge is the agility anchor is not working out in Rumblefish's favor, unfortunately. Silver Star going into this pretty well equipped, decently geared out, decently prepared, and has Sid in that mid slot. Seems to be gaining on Chocosura pretty quickly.
Yeah, the one thing that Silver Star never did was Silver Star never went to the moon and visited the Lunar Palace to get Yang. so has one fewer character than everybody else. And that in a war of attrition like this, where you have to use a lot of life potions, could come into the play, but seems to be taking care of this battle quite efficiently.
Yeah, it seems like fortunately the additional levels that Silver has, and with the additional items that they found in the underground as well, are taking those nukes on the nose a little bit better, and so they're not immediately dying to the nukes like they were with the other ones. Getting that mega nuke there reflected was a really good shot there as well.
Yeah, I believe that's a counter from summons. So we know that with the flags we have today, the opening Mega Nuke has been transformed to the Stone Spell. But any other Mega Nukes that Wyvern might cast are still Mega Nukes.
Yeah, I never even thought about using that as a strat, having everybody walled up, have ready to cast a summon, and then they're bouncing Mega Nukes right back in Wyvern's face. That's a really good strategy. Unfortunately, got to keep Rydia alive long enough to cast those summons.
Yeah, that can be trickier. And then when they die, you have to re-wall them again. So yeah. It's an effort, but I mean, able to get that was something like 8,000 or 9,000 damage worth of reflective Mega Nuke. That's going to help in a battle with a boss that has an HP as high as this spot.
Has to be careful not to get too much into a deficit. Got to get caught up, healed up a little bit here, and just get the fight topped off. And Silver Star manages to get that fight taken care of. Looks like Rumblefish has opted to leave the giant and is going to look for items and potentially some grinding opportunities.
Yeah, so that's really well done by Silver Star. Really good comeback from with the other three featured runners having the Darkness Crystal long before Silver Star even went to Mount Ordeals, to being the second one to take down the Wyvern is very impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm loving about this. As it was easy to count Silver Star out. Going down that rabbit hole, going through the underground, got way more key items than most of the other runners got, but is proving that skill and good strategy can help you catch up. Is definitely keeping them in the strong standing in this race so far.
In addition, they were also helped by having a really difficult boss in that element spot with Wyvern there, because that if that was an easy boss, like Choco and Rumblefish probably could have taken it down a lot faster too. But just because of that, the nature of that gave Silver Star the time to be able to come back, and now is taking on the elements in the CPU spot as we speak.
That's how that rando life go.
Oh yeah, rando giveth and rando taketh away.
Oh yeah. Now Silver Star here are gonna have to outpace the massive damage that Elements is going to give out here. I think they should have no problem doing that.
Ooh, that Blizzard Spear from Kane doing tons of damage on Rubicante.
Oh yeah, having that Leviathan from Rydia as well. Silver is crushing it.
These are the final form of Valvalis.
And GG for Silver Star, finishing in third place with a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 24 seconds. Congratulations to Silver Star.
Absolutely. Very, very well played race by Silver Star here. Very impressive.
We'll reach out here in just a moment, see if we can potentially get them in for an interview.
Yeah, meanwhile, Rumble's still doing a little bit of grinding on these trap chests of the Evelyn Castle, fighting the Staleman 4 Skull fight right now. Another time to use that flame spell, the Ninja Magic of Edge. Sure. We have a 4th place finisher. Rawfellows has finished in 4th place at a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 29 seconds.
GG to Rawfellows, well done. And Neon Gray finishing in 5th place with a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 51 seconds.
Yeah, GG's Neon.
Well done. with the SRL official comment of "Never let your memes be dreams." Chi-Chi to Neon Gray. Alright, Rumble looks like they're going down to the Eblon Underground yet again. And Choco's still kind of struggling here with the Wyvern fight. Making up a little bit better time this time. More damage output.
Yeah, I had adjusted and I saw it has radio with that Dragon Whip dealing quite a bit of damage. Wyvern counts as a dragon.
Very good
Dragon
move.
Whip is 4 times damage against dragon enemies. So.
Yeah, with the lack of magic or any offensive summons to use from Rydia at this point, that's definitely the best move to take.
Well, and if you're not walled up, summons against Wyvern is tough strategy to try to win for.
Very true. Looks like we're going to try to get Silver Star in here. All right, 1 second. Hello, Silver Star.
Hello.
Congratulations on your finish there. You are our second featured runner tonight to finish, and that was a fantastic third place finish overall. Very entertaining race tonight. You were the one of our featured racers to actually go to the underground, so spent a lot of extra time going after those key items underground. So to see you come back with fantastic strategies to come back there and get such a good time was really fantastic to see.
Yeah.
What were some of your thoughts going into, we noticed the late bounce to ordeals there. Was there anything that kind of persuaded you to make that jump?
The Dadon in the IRC.
We were speculating that was possibly the case.
I knew exactly it was ordeals because there wasn't even that much left. There was Earth Crystal and there was Luca Cave and there was ordeals. I think I did literally everything else. And I knew it couldn't be Earth or Luca because, well, it took a while to get underground and then a while to get these items, and I doubt someone would be done that quickly if it was underground.
Yeah, that was definitely a good turnaround. We were also really impressed with the strategy during the Wyvern fight of walling off your party and then using a summon to trigger the Mega Nuke bounce. That was pretty original thinking.
Yeah, I think that was just making the most of what I had because I always forget about the W flag if it's not W0, and so I accidentally used the Moon Veil on Edge instead of Bacchus right away, so I was like, alright, well, if I summon on him, he's going to counter with Mega Nuke and do a pretty much max damage back to himself. So I
Definitely
kind
a
of
good happy accident.
Yeah.
So, did you have any other thoughts or concerns going into those seeds? Sorry, those flags, I should say.
It was pretty interesting not having N2 and just being able to kill those Lamb Summon bosses so easily like that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we saw you use the coffin on those Baron guards down there, and yeah, that did make short work of them for sure.
Yeah, neither of them paid out, but I felt like they were so fast it didn't matter that much.
It was a decent experience.
Nice.
You got some good items at least, and may not have been key items, but it was worthwhile.
All right, so unless you have any other questions, I think that'll be it. me.
Oh, no, I just want to thank you for joining us for that interview, Silver Star, and congrats again on your 3rd place finish tonight, and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Choco's still battling this war of attrition with Wyvern, this tug-of-war. Meanwhile, Rumblefish facing Octomom down in to make their way to the underground. And Choco downs Wyvern.
Yeah, and while Choco's getting ready to fight those elements, I just want to give a couple quick shout-outs. I want to give a shout-out to our tracker tonight, Christopher Warkin, our restreamer tonight, the Tie-Dye Guy, everyone at the Randomania Network for letting us use their channel for our community race. It's always great that we get these races here on Randomania. And my commentary partner, Casual Geek Dave.
Thank you, Rex. Definitely always a pleasure to do commentary with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
And not to mention, make sure that you go and follow all 4 of our featured racers tonight. They're putting on a great show. Chocosura, Schmitty Games, Silver Star 6609, and Rumblefish 82, all worth a follow.
For sure. And just want to take a moment to mention that Mortal Imago finished in 6th place at the time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, 55 seconds. Kedril finished in 7th place with 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 11 seconds. Chocosura now making their way to the Elements fight here. After that experience boost from the last fight, I think he has enough oomph to outpace this Elements fight, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the Elements does hit hard, but Choco is making use of those moon veils to avoid the physical attacks. At least got one on Rita and one on Yang. Edge, on the other hand, got hit before that was possible. So here we go. I like seeing Sid with the bow and arrow strategy from the back row.
Yeah, definitely an interesting use of Sid there, but I like it.
We see the very rarely seen curse status effect on Edge there. Hope you saved a cross.
Oh, and that is a GG for Chocosura, finishing in 8th place with a time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 56 seconds. Congrats to Chocosura.
Yeah, very, very well done. GG's Choco.
And inching in right behind him is Shamstron in 9th place with a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, 22 seconds. All right.
Rumblefish now in my favorite town in the game, Tomra.
Fantastic town. I want to reach out real quick, see if Chocosura will be interested in an interview. One moment. Definitely want to shout out to our fantastic tracker tonight, Christopher Warkin, and our awesome restringer, the Tie-Dye Guy. Always making this a super great experience for everyone involved. Alright, we're getting Choco in for an interview. Chocosura! Congratulations on your 8th place finish there. That was well done. Choco, are you with us? Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
There you are.
Okay. You know what?
Congratulations on that finish, Choco.
Thank you.
It was definitely a struggle to get through.
Oh my God. You know
That
what?
very stacked and gauntlet.
Oh my! I had a strategy going into the giant, but I was not expecting to see the wyvern right there. I had bought moon veils and everything.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, if I can just moon veil my party up, I should be fine.
Yeah, there's only a couple bosses where that moon veil strategy doesn't work, and wyvern is one of them for sure.
Oh. And he just kept out healing my damage. I couldn't damage him fast enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we saw, like especially when the wyvern used that remedy for 6,500 HP, like that's got to be disheartening at that point.
Yeah, definitely. When I saw that, I was like, oh my, I'm in for a fight.
So I noticed that you had decided to just do like regular random battle fights with hourglasses on the giant. Was that part of your strategy as well?
It was, because I figured D machines would take too long without weak.
Sure.
And if I stopped them with the hourglass, it would stop the searcher too, so that wouldn't work out too well.
Yeah.
So I figured I would just grind on, normal monsters
And then if you were depending on those moon veils, you didn't have to level up too far anyways, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, Choco, that was definitely a well done run on your part, and very entertaining for everybody involved to watch. So, I want to thank you for being one of our featured runners tonight, and for taking time out of your night to do an interview with us.
No problem.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move you up. So, I want to say thanks again, and have a good night.
You too. Have a good night.
All right. So with that being said, just again want to just quickly call out our awesome commentator Rex Rawl that joined me tonight, as well as the tie-dye guy and Quest for Working, our tracker. Our runners Choco Sura, Silver Star 6609, Schmitty Games, and Rumblefish 82 gave us a fantastic race tonight for everyone involved. Scala Kitty, who rolled our seat tonight, always a classic. Thank you again, Scala, for all that you do for us. And we're going to go ahead and host Rumblefish 82. Everybody get over there and give them your support so that we can really just push them through, get them through to the end here. So
yeah, root on Rumblefish
for joining us. Sorry, I cut you off there, Rex.
I'm just saying, let's go root on Rumblefish.
For sure. All right. I am Casual Geek Dave here for Randomania 2. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and thanks for joining us.